And for this, you've got the Devil card, right? So on the lighter end of the scale, the Devil card really talks about deep commitment. It talks about that healthy kind of obsession, right? So if you listen to, whether you like him or not, I'm just giving an example. If you speak to Elon Musk, he was so obsessed with the whole SpaceX and Tesla thing that when he sold PayPal, he put every single penny from that sale into his next business, which was Tesla, right? He was sleeping on this is a multi millionaire sleeping on somebody's sofa because he didn't have anywhere to live, right? And he wasn't spending money on a hotel. That level of obsession leads you to be the, world's richest man at least once or twice. This isn't to say that you have to have that level of obsession. What it is to say is where you get the most out of this year is finding what you're really passionate about, what you really want from life, what you really feel you are here to do, you are meant to do, what your skills, your talents, everything in your life has trained you to do. You find that thing and then you get really healthily obsessed with it. So for me personally, when I'm sat on the sofa watching TV and scrolling, I will have my nose in an astrology book or a tarot book. I will be looking at different charts. I'll be, I do this stuff outside of work because I love it. I have a healthy level of obsession about it so that I can do the best that I can do with it. That's where you get the most out of this year. So if you don't know what you're passionate about to that level that you feel like you could be healthily obsessed with it, get the fuck on with it, all right? And I mean that with all love. If you've been with me long enough, you know how I am. I've got a potty mouth. With that said, Pisces, another way that this will show up is to get really clear on what your addictions are. Some of the best energy that you have, some of the best ways that you get bang for your buck is by really figuring out, what are my addictions? What are my habits? What are the patterns that I do repeatedly that actually do not serve me or what I'm trying to do or achieve in my life? This is a time to get really honest with yourself this year. All right, so this year for your first card out, you have the Emperor. So you are stepping into your power this year. You are coming into a year this year, Pisces, where you are gaining your authority, or rather, you are commanding your authority. This is where you really pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And this year, I think you are going to establish yourself as one of the leading players in whatever it is that you're doing. So whether this is your career, whether it's your love life, whether it's your schooling, whatever area of life this happens to represent for you, this is you really saying to yourself, I'm going to be an active participant. I'm going to be in control of this. Now, bosses, father figures, important male figures in your life are going to feature for you in January. This is where you'll be paying that much more attention to them. Now, you're going to get one destiny card, one direction card. So let's give this some context, right? Let's see what's showing up for you over the course of January of 2025. Can you believe it? All right, so your direction card is the Death card. Endings, completions, culminations, right? So I'm going to start with the scary so that we can get to the good, right? If you've been with me long enough, I say I hate making hard, horrible, or death sort of related predictions, but I have to tell you what I see when it comes to the cards, right? This is the work that I've been tasked with. I've been doing this for a long enough time to know what certain combinations mean. Now, on the heavy end of the scale, this could be a father, a boss, touch wood, even a partner could pass away in January. I really hope I'm wrong. That's the heavy side of this. The brighter side of this, the death card, endings, completions, culminations, coming into a connection with the Emperor. If you've had any and all legal matters, legal proceedings, or situations with authorities or authority figures, January could absolutely see them coming to an end. Now, the really interesting thing about this for me is the Emperor card is number 4. And the Death card is number 13. 1 and 3 gives you 4. This is 2 4s. So I will say there's potentially a little bout of insomnia going on in January as well. So you might find it harder to sleep, which kind of makes sense, right? With everything that's going on in the sky. Now, that being said, one of the things that I also want you to consider is we start the year with a Mercury retrograde, with a Mars retrograde. We also start the year with a Jupiter retrograde. And both of these are retrograde right the way through till February. Jupiter goes direct, and Jupiter is your ruling planet. Certainly in ancient astrology. Jupiter will be going direct on the 4th of February. Mars will go direct on the 24th of February. So a pretty slow start to the year this year, right? Now, that being said, January is a month that really wants you to break away with the authority figures in your life that just aren't cutting it. And this is one of the reasons I think this is you really going in your own direction. Like the song that I'm hearing in my head is Fleetwood Mac's "You Can Go Your Own Way," right? So like this is you deciding to go in your own way, to break with the traditional ties of authority and say, well, in that case, maybe I have to become an authority in my own right. This is me going in that direction that is going to suit me. All right. Now, what's interesting as well is the Emperor represents the rule of law on the material realm, whereas the Death card is the ultimate law, right? Is that anything that is considered alive and has been born will eventually pass. Now, as we come into February, on the 28th of February, we have the annual Pisces new moon. So this is yours. This one is not an eclipse. And I think the reason is because of the precession of the equinoxes and etc. But we had a Pisces new moon eclipse in the sign of... not in the sign of, in the 2024, I believe. Now, this one is not an eclipse. It's just a new moon, but it's still your birthday new moon, so it has that much more weight. Jupiter, your ancient ruling planet, and Mars are both going direct at this time. So it's a pretty interesting month.